Yeah, hi peeps, it's Tersse back on the old squat box once again. It's a bright and sunny day here in Scotland. I've just spent a couple of hours watching UFO documentaries and some alien abduction documentaries, and one that's about super hyper beings that live in another dimension that are actually controlling us through our religions and our idea of spirituality, and yet the person that keeps saying that the way to overcome it is to become more spiritual, whatever that fucking means, you know. Now, I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, you're just one of these naysayers, James. You just, you don't want to believe it, and therefore you make up all these excuses of how abductions only happening, and yet there's all that evidence and proof, and there is aliens because just so many people see spaceships that some of them have got to be real spaceships, all that kind of thing." And I'm just thinking, you're missing the whole simple point. I mean, anybody who has any logical sense of looking at a thing and examining it for what it really is, you've got to come down to the basics, which is whatever is the simplest answer is probably the correct answer. And what is the main theme of all these people who talk about abductions, spaceships, aliens? I'm not talking about the people who say they've seen it, but the people who interview all the people and collect all that evidence together and put it in a book and go on tours and do lectures and make documentaries, for TV and for YouTube, fucking hour and a half documentary telling you the same stuff that 10 other people have told you in the last 10 years, What is the main thing that's happening there? Well, these people are getting to basically be very high paid storytellers. That's all it is. They're telling you a story, they're putting together bits and pieces of stuff which individually by themselves it's just a wee story. But when they link them all together, it becomes a big story with what human beings love, these deep, hidden, secret things going on, the military industrial complex, a super government, aliens, devils and spirits, feeders, that come and soak the spirit out you, what vampires, these people are just very high paid storytellers. They're making a good living. I mean, some of these doctors who do this, they put people under the influence, hypnotise them and get them to recount their abduction stories, Some of these people have been doing it for 40 years, and that's all they've done for 40 years. Hypnotise people, get some story about their abduction and put it in a book and sell the book. They're very, very high paid storytellers. And even the people who have seen that they do these, this man has agreed to be filmed while I put him under and hypnotise him and tell us a story about the abduction of his child, and him and his wife being taken up into a spaceship. Well, it would be even more believable that guy wasn't just lying there on the bed with his eyes shut, recanting a story that him and his wife have made up and stuck to, for the years that they've been interviewed by people, I mean, if he was to say, like, you're going to go under and you'll feel no pain, and then take a needle and stick it through his ear, and he just lies there and doesn't feel any pain, look at it, apparently hypnotism, you can do that, If you did that with every guy that you've seen getting filmed, every woman you've seen getting filmed as being hypnotised and under, I'll be more inclined to believe what I'm seeing as somebody who's actually hypnotised. But for all I know, turn the camera on, they go, would you, and then they say to me, go back to that night and what's happening, and then they recant their story. But he could just be lying there making it up. How do I know he's actually hypnotised? How does the guy that's supposed to hypnotise him know that he's hypnotised if you don't do the test, stick a needle in the fucking leg? You know what I mean? You just don't know. These people are just very well paid storytellers. And for all that there might be, unidentified flying objects, I've still never seen any real evidence of a real spaceship. I mean, in this day and age, everybody's got a fucking smartphone. So how come we're not getting, you know, there's a spaceship, you know what I mean? Every soldier's got a fucking mobile phone, right? So if you're on a nuclear base and a fucking saucer starts hovering out of the fucking airfield that you're working on, couldn't you pull your camera phone out and film it and get a really sharp, clear image of it? Every fucking image you see of these things are shaky and blurred. And I know myself, I've used a camera, I could get a better clear image than any of these fuckers do, you know? It's just all just storytelling, man, and there's no real evidence. The fact that you see some lights in the sky, you can't tell what it is, you know what I mean, and it looks weird. Well, it's an unidentified flying object, yes, but it's not a flying saucer. I mean, people, I've seen people, you know, that showed you the film that they showed you, and their eyes, they can see a saucer shape, but when you see what we've filmed, it's a blurry light shaking and moving about, and they say it's flying about fast, but you can see it's just them moving the fucking camera about, you know what I mean? I could make that. There's no real evidence, there's no sharp, clear photographs. For fuck's sake, when you see somebody doing something crazy in the street, you've seen it on YouTube, hundreds of stuff, you know what I mean? Bang, people with their phones out, seeing policemen beat somebody up, bang, you even can get the number after the cop's uniform. There's no all shaking and blood. Yet as soon as you film a fucking, you know, a Bigfoot in the woods or a spaceship, suddenly you can't focus your fucking camera. It just doesn't make any sense, except what I say, the base principle, whatever it could possibly be is possibly what it is. And it's a made up story. And these people are very, very well paid storytellers, you know. So UFOs, yeah, some people might say the story's still out. Some people might say, well, there are no aliens from across the universe, that they're interdimensional super hyper beings. But I mean, that's them just making a new fucking story up. They've got no evidence to prove that they're coming from another dimension. You know what I mean? I mean, other dimensions that are, even today, with the science that we know, they're only a hypothesis. I mean, when they talk about string theory and you know, M theory and all that, these are still just hypotheses, you know, a hypothesis put forward by scientists, you know, deep thinking mathematicians, you know, physicists, but they still don't have any real evidence that these other levels of, you know, dimensions that exist. It's just a hypothesis of what possibly might be there, you know. There's no real evidence for it. It's just a story until we get real evidence. And all this stuff about super hyper beings coming into your universe and torturing people and made up in their mind spaceships, you know what I mean? You're putting an image in your mind, you know, but you're not actually in a spaceship, you're just lying in your bed with some succubus or some devil sucking the life force and the fear at you. That's what they live on or something fucking thing, you know. They're living on the power of your soul or something, you know, your spirituality or something. It's just, they're just stories. These people are just really well paid storytellers. And there's always going to be a huge amount of people there who just want to believe something different. You know what I mean? They know that religion is bullshit, and now they're just looking for another religion. They're just taking one story and replacing the Bible with alien abductions and super hyper fucking spiritual beings. You know what I mean? And you know, giant New World Order governments that are hidden in the dark recesses of every government's sort of secret service or something fucking thing, I don't know. Just crazy stories, and mankind loves stories. That my brain loves these sort of deep, resonant images and pictures and ideas. Oh, we just love it, you know what I mean? I mean, I love science fiction, but it's fiction, you know. I love fantasy, but it's fantasy, you know what I mean? There's no real elves and goblins and ogres. There's no real Saruman, you know what I mean, or Gandalf the Grey. You know, there's no magic swords or magic rings, you know. Yeah. Anyway, I just thought I'd make this video because don't get me wrong, I like watching these documentaries. I like lying back and picking out all the places where they say something and then a bit later they're saying something completely different. So even their stories don't actually make any real sense, and then to cover it up to say, well, mankind's brain is made to try and make sense of things, but these are aliens and they don't have to make sense, and you know, the way we see the universe, you know, and I'm thinking, well, that's just a cop-out. Oh, we can't tell you exactly what's going on, therefore, you know, that's proof that something's going on. You know, storytellers. So there, that's my my small token video for today. Swansea Bar. I'll use abduction and alien and super hyper being believers. Yeah, you enjoy your stories, mate. You're just as bad as the Christians and the Muslims believing in their books, you know what I mean? They've got no proof for it either, but we've had thousands of years of people believing it, and now coming into this new age, the new agers, they're in there as well. The aliens are all going to be good and they're coming to save us. That's just what Jesus returning, as far as I'm concerned. Just another story. But some people would rather believe that than believe in Jesus and, you know, angels. The aliens are the new angels, that's what it is, you know what I mean? Or the super hyper beings are the new devils, you know what I mean? They're evil and they're breeding us as food, you know what I mean? Just like we breed cattle and chickens. What, that's, you know, an unusual way of looking at things, but you know, it's still just a story. You know, it's an interesting story, don't get me wrong. Well, that's why I watch the videos, you know. I like these documentaries, that they're entertaining, because I see them as somebody being paid very well for inventing a new storyline, you know what I mean? Fantastic, you know. Anyway, cheers guys, hope you've enjoyed this video, and remember, you know, the truth is out there. If you want to believe, you can believe.